like it. The more numbers we get, the more work we can do in terms of spreading these pro-life messages out. I was so touched by Stephanie's YouTube, and it kind of took me by surprise. I thought it was a good idea, but Stephanie, you were really good in that YouTube. And it's gone far and wide. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've saved these two for last for a reason. I've been so excited about meeting Elaine. I've only ever actually seen Elaine in the Martha 21 DVD. Now, I've talked to Elaine on the telephone, and we're on the same page. You know, we're committed, we're dedicated to bringing abortion to an end. But I've never really had the pleasure of doing it. So I had this opportunity this year to make that happen, and it did. And so now I've actually met, I think, everybody that's actually in the DVD. So Elaine, you were the last, you were linchpin, and now my collection is complete. And so Elaine, I want you to come on up and just share a little bit of your story with us. Elaine and Dr. Childress and Lacey are going to be Walk for Life West Coast San Francisco speakers tomorrow. You don't want to miss that walk tomorrow. We were talking 30, 40, 50,000 people will be in San Francisco. These speakers will be on the biggest stage in the country, and I'm so excited that they were willing to spend some time here in Oakland with me. Elaine, it's all yours.
Thank you. Again, thank you, Chrissy, Stephanie, Lacey. My goodness. Oh, I'm just overwhelmed. I thank God for you. And Chrissy, you said something that I think everybody should know. And you said it right on time. We all are made out of the image of God. All of us are made out of God, in God's image. And if we keep avoiding the children, the babies, we would never, ever get to see the image of God. We would never get to see the image of God. That's why if you want to see him, it's important to save the child. Me, myself, at the age of 13, I was a victim of rape. I carried my son 9 months. We were from a poor family. I was from a poor family. I was with my grandmother, my mother, and my father. Everybody was on welfare. There was no jobs there. Because during the 60s, you know, it was like either certain cotton fields, cucumber patches, or something like that. Those are the only types of jobs that was available for blacks in that time, in the 60s, or janitors. So most of my family worked in the fields, and so did I. I picked cotton, I picked cucumbers, I picked dug potatoes, whatever it was to be done to survive. So anyway, I was in rural North Carolina. I was raped. I carried my son. My siblings, I had 7 sisters, 6 sisters and 1 brother. It was 8 of us. We used to sit on the porch eating out of a pot. You know, no plates, no spoons. The neighbors, my parents was never around. You know, I mean, eating literally, sitting there, we were little babies eating out of a pot because we didn't have a plate or silverware. Anyway, the social worker found out that I was pregnant. She goes to my grandmother and tells my grandmother that if she don't sign these papers for me to become sterilized, that she will cut off their food, their welfare food. Back then, I don't know if some of you might have heard the word supplements, you know, where you used to go out, everybody used to stand on a long line like in the 20s, and they used to fill your bags and boxes up with food, with powdered cheese and powdered eggs and so forth. I mean, canned milk, you know. So anyway, when we saw that food, it was heaven. Block cheese, that was heaven, because we had something to eat. We wasn't too proud. You know, I remember going to school, I used to have to wear the same outfit maybe 3 times a week. And they were hand-me-downs. But, you know, I was proud. They were nice clothes. It didn't matter to me. I had something to wear. No shoes. You know, run over shoes. You know, you're walking and the kids are picking at you and all of that. So I know what it is to be one of the underprivileged, as some people might call it. But I also know what it is to want to live. I know what it is to want to go out there, and I know what it is to want to fight for the unborn, what it is to fight for children that's born with some form of illness, epilepsy, or Down syndrome. I want to be the voice. Can you help me? I just want to be the voice. I want to be the voice for these children. I want to just make sure that when a little teenage girl gets pregnant and she has no place or no one to turn to, I want to be the one that she can come to. I want to help them. I want them to understand the befores and the after. You go and you abort your child. Nobody tells you the consequences of having an abortion, of killing, that is murder. It's out. What's the difference between taking a gun and laying on the table and let somebody take the life of that child, and you go out there and kill the child? Every child has a right to live. Every child has a right to life. And I want to help to pass this word. It is so touching because of what, you know, I have seen. You know, how they killed my babies. When they killed my womb. They didn't allow me to have an abortion. They just took me and gutted me open. And just killed my womb. So I would never be able to have a child again. These are these people are called the eugenics. The eugenics were a group of people that believe in race cleansing. You know, a pure race of people. So who's to say who's pure and who's not pure? Who gives who the right to kill and to say who can be born, who should be born, or who should not be allowed to be born? And at this time, I think I need to stop because I am getting so carried away with this, and I think I need to leave some for tomorrow. But just to say that I have all of these thoughts and these feelings, and I'm so unhappy with this world, the way they're treating us, the things that they're doing, how they're using capitalism, how they're taking the money from the poor and giving it to themselves. There's so many things that can be done to save children, to save education. It's just so much that we need to sit down and think, where do our priorities lay? You know, what is our most important job here? To me, it's the child. And one more thing is this. You go and you have your abortion. If the doctors don't explain to you that it's a sin, you should ask questions. Because if you hear me, if you're here today, and after I have told you that it's a sin to abort a child, and you go out and you abort it anyway, there's answers. You have to answer to God for that. Because He's going to hold you for that sin. Abortion is a sin. It's murder. No matter how you look at it. Thank you.